Bay Area, Houston. We're so glad to have each and every one of you with us this morning. And now the lovely Miss Reverend Kyra.
Thank you, Keith. Ooh, I'm loud. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome. So glad you're here with us today and everywhere that you're joining us from. And thank you for watching us on live stream on Facebook or YouTube and getting the word out to others about the great message that we share here at Unity. And as we do every Sunday, we begin with our affirmation. Carol, you can probably turn me down a touch. I sound really loud to me. No? Yeah, they're all going yes. So thank you so much. So let's do our affirmation today. Turn into our heart and our being and say, prosperity fills my life. Let's do it again. Prosperity fills my life. Yes, it does. And even in ways that we don't expect, prosperity is what is showing up no matter what the circumstances or situation. So I invite you to hold that truth within your own being and start to observe. Do you feel the all-sufficiency of God? Do you feel that in your bones and in your being? Charles Fillmore says that self-observation is the prelude to Christ consciousness. So we open ourselves to that true Christ consciousness that wants to shine forth in the midst of our lives through prosperity and the flow of the infinite in all circumstances. So let's join together with Keith and Patty as we begin our November congregationals and start into gratitude. Isn't that a good place to start? Everybody rise and join us for Thank You for This Day, Spirit.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. My fabulous, my fabulous, my fabulous life. My fabulous, my fabulous, my fabulous life. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this church, Spirit, thank you for this church. Thank you for this church, Spirit, thank you for this church. This loving, this loving, this loving church. This loving, this loving, this loving church. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing 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 day.
I think Mark Grobleski's up now. Come on up, Mark. But I'll just say one thing on the way up that was so profound last week. Last Sunday, we had a music academy in here that was doing a recital, and they had teens of all ages up here playing. That was a rock and roll recital. And you should have seen this place. Talk about rock and roll. Every chair was used, and the families were all supporting all their teens. And you may be feeling some of that vibe still from that rock and roll concert that was going on with all of their recital of their guitars and it was a beautiful sight to see all those young faces up here truly doing something that they love. And that's about who we are as a community, that we create sacred space, and it calls in those who are doing amazing things out in the community as well. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Mark Grobleski, and welcome to Unity Bay Area Houston Sunday Celebration. We're so happy you have joined us today. Our affirmation today is, prosperity fills my life. Please share our Sunday services and events through your social media of choice. Share the love that you receive and keep the love flowing. Now please rise and join in our opening song. Oh, we already? Our statement of being. Okay. Just a glitch here. Let us begin our services today as we affirm our statement of truth. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in me, God the good omnipotence. Prayer is the basis on which Unity was founded. Dawn Davis and Sarah Thompson are our prayer chaplains today for those here in person. And for our digital viewers, if you have a prayer request, please click the button Request Prayer in your bulletin. And now please join us in prayer.
Wonderful. I'm just going to acknowledge as we begin, I don't know, I'm talkative today, is that acknowledge as we begin prayer. We had an incredible meeting with our prayer chaplains this morning, and we're so grateful for the prayer consciousness that is the foundation of Unity and the foundation of this ministry. And we do want you to know that if you have a prayer request in your heart, not only can you do it online, there's a prayer box over here right by our prayer room in our Oneness Blessing room, and we invite you to write out your prayer request. Our prayer chaplains hold those in prayer every day. Those prayers go on to Silent Unity, and they're held 24/7 there. And we are deeply grateful for the prayer consciousness that is the foundation of this ministry. So let us go to that sacred place where we know that we commune and we feel the power of that oneness, of that one presence, the infinite power of the universe that is working in union with us and ignites the truth of our Christ consciousness. We allow ourselves to take a backdrop to the Christ that is bringing forth its presence, its power, its light, to lead us into a life that we have imagined, a life that is available beyond what we have imagined, to help us know the truth and remember who and what we are. We are the magnificence of the divine, and we feel that. Right here, feel the essence and the power of you as a divine expression. We say thank you. Thank you, beloved Spirit. Thank you, dear God, dear essence, great Spirit, Holy One, beloved. In all the ways that we understand and know you, we feel you more powerfully right here in our midst. We take this time to have this intimate moment with our divine. And as we do, we set the field with an intention for all to know and feel the truth of their being. And we bless this community and all the many ways this community is expressing out in the world and inviting the world into our midst, into this field of love and light that we create as we commune and know the truth of that one presence. And so it is. Amen. And yes. And back to you, Mark.
This week's announcements and all links to participate can be found in your Sunday e-bulletin sent this morning at 7 a.m. For our in-person folks today, please visit the connection table to show your interest at the back of the room. Access to our updated newsletters, bulletins are easily found on our new website, www.unitybayarea.org, by clicking on the orange Update button at the top of the page. You can also call 281-554-2450 and leave a message requesting event details. First, let me say thank you to our dedicated AV team in the back of the room. Takes a team to offer both in the service and the online experience that we have here on Sundays. If you're ready to step into a new way to serve and be a part of making our Sundays happen, please see Carol Curtis, raise your hand, in the back after church, or click the button in the bulletin. Your support is greatly welcome. And we are now in full swing with our VFW Holiday Food Drive. Please see the list of requested basics. We'll be collecting food all the way through November 30th. So please shop often and share big. And we're so excited, there'll be a Thanksgiving Unity Gratitude Feast on November 21st after church. So sign up online or in person today. And now, please join me for our vision, mission, values, and affirmation. Together, our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is to inspire minds, awaken hearts, and empower lives through the teachings of Jesus Christ and other expressions of universal truth. In all that we are and all that we live, we value unconditional love, connection, authenticity, inclusivity, trust, and compassion. We are living relevant spirituality now.
Please stand and sing our second congregational with us. 1, 2,
3. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Also, a shout out to our music team. And I just challenge you, because usually once a week, I'll have one of these songs and it'll just bounce around in my head from service. And I think that's great. That's what we're here for. Yeah, but you're supposed to. Okay. So your presence here today is precious to us all. Thank you for joining us this morning. And we know some folks are joining us for the very first time. We thank you for checking Unity Bay Area Houston out. If you'd like more information about our community and the Unity teachings, you may connect with a greeter after the service or contact us through Messenger on our Facebook page, Unity Bay Area Houston. If you're looking for a spiritual place to be renewed and lifted, we would love to welcome you. And if you're here for the first time, please raise your hand. Okay, we got the same old crew. Okay. So together, let's share our blessing. We love you. We bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. And now center in to receive today's daily word.
If I can find it. So, our word today is prosperity. Affirmation: prosperity fills my life. Current flowing through my home's wiring provides light, but I first must flip the switch to turn it on. Divine substance, the building block of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows. But first, I must claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet every need. I know true prosperity when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. I know the more I give, the more of myself I place into circulation, the more I will experience. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in my life and in the world. And from Mark chapter 4, verse 24. And he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The measure you give will be the measure you get, and still more will be given you.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still and know. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
To close your eyes and open yourself to the realization of the one presence and one power here now, in through all of existence. The all-sufficiency, omnipresence, omnisubstance, omnipotence of the infinite self, the infinite divine grace that flows from this God source that knows every need before it is expressed. May you feel the power of this one presence right here. May you feel in this moment your connection, intimate, secure, truly embodied within you. This presence and this power that is the you, that is the Christ consciousness, that is the light of the world, that is the all in all expressing uniquely through you. So as you begin to gentle away the thoughts and the energies, just be right here, right now. Let go. Let go and allow yourself to be renewed by Spirit, renewed by this one light, by this vibrant expression of life energy that animates and fulfills all that you would desire in healing and remembrance of wholeness, in the fulfillment of the greatest good in your life, compelling you in ways that bring you to serve in all that you are and all that you speak and all that you do. And every thought unifies right now with this greater whole that is always bringing benevolence into the world, fulfilling itself in the most profound ways. And let us put aside any doubt or fear. Empty that backpack you're carrying. Maybe take the whole thing off. Set it aside. Let the divine take care of those desires, those needs, those burdens, those stresses of life. For there's nowhere else to be right now but right here. And know that God is here, that love is here, that peace is here. And we turn within the silence to feel the power of that unified field moving through us and lighting us up from the inside out in the silence. From this inner sanctuary, we feel the connection. We feel the safety and security of God's presence in all that we are and all that we do. We send forth not only the blessings into our own body temple, into the mind, into all the aspects of our being. We give thanks for the life flow and for the good, and we send forth blessings to the world, that every creature, great and small, those of the land and of the skies and of the waters, that they feel the truth of their own connection, and we feel our oneness and gratitude for the gift of life through every mineral and every plant. And we include every being that exists upon this earth, those in the great beyond that connect with us, the ancestors, the divine realms and the angelic realms, are all here ministering. What if they're ministering to you right now? Whatever your needs are, they are here supporting and nurturing. Mother Earth is lifting and holding you in space and time. And you are being loved beyond your wildest dreams. Feel the love pouring into you and receive that love from all of the universe and all the dimensions and all the consciousness, the prayers of eternity that have been prayed on your behalf. Let those touch into the sacred knowing of your being right now. And we say thank you. How could I lift myself in any way but with gratitude for the activity of the divine that is here within and through and as me and each of you. And we are grateful, grateful, grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. And Yes. And today we're going to return to the unity version of the traditional Lord's Prayer. So I invite you to take these words into your heart and soul, and let's speak these together. Our Creator, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. We know that error consciousness cannot touch us, and so it is. We turn it back over. Let's be the light.
In a time full of war, be peace. In a time full of doubt, just believe. There ain't much difference between you and me. In a time full of war, be peace. In a world full of hate, be light. When you do someone wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark. You were meant to shine. In a world full of dark, be a light. La 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 la. In the place that needs change, make a difference. In a time full of noise, just listen. 'Cause life is but a breeze, better live it. In a place that needs change, make a difference. In a world full of hate, be light. When you do somebody wrong, make it right. Come out of the dark, you were meant to shine. In a world of hate, be light. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. In a race you can't win, slow it down. Yeah, you only get one time around. 'Cause the finish line is 6 feet in the ground. In a race you can't win, just slow it down. In a world full of hate, be light. When you do somebody wrong, make it right. You don't have to be in the dark. You were meant to shine. In a world of hate, be light. You know it's hard to live in color when you trust in black and white. In a world full of hate, be light.
Thank you, Keith and Patty. Beautiful. So whether we believe one time around or many times around, it's all an opportunity to be the light, isn't it? I love that. And we are given an opportunity again and again to decide what agreements are we making in this world. And what agreement am I making right here, right now, in this moment with myself and my divine, my Christ consciousness? So some of you know that what happened this morning, and we're going to send extra blessings to this wonderful little gal that was in here this week to pick up some books and from our lending library, and came in and accidentally hit the accelerator instead of the brake. And all I knew is I saw my car flying as I looked out the window this morning and took out the side of it. And so what I want us to know, it's really tough when you're brand new and you hit the minister's car, what we want, and we laugh about it because the truth is, it's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. It's not what is of value and importance to us. And when we start to understand where are the values that we hold, what are the agreements we've made in this world that are out of alignment to the truth of what's truly important, what's really has the value is our divine essence and our connection to one another. To lift up someone who, she was pretty startled herself and upset. And, what matters in that moment is her being lifted up to the truth of knowing that who she is, a divine reflection. Has anybody else ever run into somebody's car? Yeah. Ever accidentally hit the accelerator when you meant the brake? One of the things that we get to do in life is begin to recognize we have an opportunity every moment to live these truths. This is the basic principles of unity. It's great to give it a lot of lip service, but what happens when something doesn't go as you think it's supposed to go? When something changes all of a sudden? Anybody facing change in the world right now? Everyone. So we have agreements of how we've chosen to perceive the world. And we have an opportunity, as Don Miguel Ruiz teaches in the Four Agreements, to begin to look at how we've bought into the sickness of the mind that wants to, has the world upside down, has us valuing things over people, has us resisting life as it moves us forward. What if life is always benevolent and it is moving us forward, and we're learning how to set new agreements with my understanding of what the higher purpose is in a given moment? So as we make these agreements with life, we get to say, well, how do I really show up when rubber hits the road, right? I'm frustrated, I'm angry, am I unable to be present? Because the truth is there's presence right here and right now and in every moment. And I have a choice of whether I buy into the monkey mind that wants to have a lot of chatter about it, or whether I buy into a greater truth in the midst. These particular four agreements we've been studying and we're returning to, so glad to return to them, are really powerful tools for us to apply the principles that we teach into the world. So the first one that we studied was be impeccable with your word. Now what that means is that you go beyond the error thoughts, and the error consciousness would have you blurt out something you might later regret, right? It has us thinking differently. It has us experiencing what's the true essence and how does it speak its word into the world. To understand that we are a vessel for creative energy to create our life and our world in the way we choose, in the way that's in alignment. Now you can choose to have a frustrated, a challenging, a life of suffering. Anybody chosen that before? Okay. Oh, no, wait. Anybody chosen suffering? Come on, raise your hands. I know you have. All right. So what if we have the opportunity to choose not to suffer, but be impeccable, go back to truth, go back and release the error consciousness and begin to create our world anew? Start right now. Start in this now moment. And as we're impeccable with our word, this is the foundation of these four agreements that Don Miguel Ruiz teaches from the Toltec tradition. This has come down through the eons, through the ancients, through the shamanic understanding of how the universe works, which is what unity and Charles Fillmore did when he tapped into the purity of the Christ consciousness. He got an awareness of oneness. He got an awareness of how the universe works, and he brought it through with the principles that we teach. So we're applying these by being impeccable with our thoughts and our words and our creative energy. Secondly, we studied don't take things personally. Woohoo! Okay, everybody shake it off. Shake it off. Ah! Because it's easy to take it personally, right? It's easy to take any situation and make it about me. But the truth is, it's not about you. When we don't take things personally, then we can create a distance between ourselves and the circumstance and the situation. And we can begin to say, well, wait a minute, what's this really about? What wants to emerge out of this circumstance and situation? When I take it personally, I'm all up in it, right? Anybody notice that when you take it personally, your whole body tenses up? You know, like your shoulders are up around your ears, and you got this little furrow in your brow. It's not good for the aging process. Really, releasing tension is an important part of our not taking things personally, of being able to be present in ways that allow us to see what the greater good is. But when I'm all caught up and I'm grasping onto what it means and what it means about me, or for me, then all of a sudden I can't let go and see the bigger picture. When we don't take things personally, we're able to rise above the circumstances and situations and see a different opportunity, a different awareness about what is occurring in the moment. That's getting the Christ perspective, right? I take on the Christ awareness that I am and begin to live with that as the eyes with which I see. The love with which I give, the way that I am in the world. So today we're stepping back in and we're actually on agreement number 3. Don't make assumptions. Oh. Yeah, that assumptions thing. We make a lot of assumptions in our lives and in our world. And the problem is that they actually are not based upon truth at all. How many times have you created a fantasy in your mind? You know, I love that Don Miguel gives a story about somebody in the airport, and they're walking through and they see somebody, a friend of theirs that they think is especially good looking or whatever, and the person smiles at them, you know, and all of a sudden they got a whole story. Oh, they like me? Oh my God, you know, before they're done, they're married, they've got, you know. See, we make assumptions about this meaning something or not meaning something. And we create a whole world out of our fantasy, out of our assumptions that we've made. And we don't really know the truth. Now, that's a funny example, but what about the times we do that with something that we think somebody meant us ill? Or we took something somebody said in a way that we feel suddenly, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they're against me. Oh, they're not, you know. We have all kinds of ways we apply this information, the assumptions that we make. We have mind chatter going on, and then we make an assumption that it's true when it's not. And we feed into it with beliefs that we've carried in our being. We have many, many beliefs that we've carried, and we've gathered them together, and we use them as evidence for our own assumptions. Right? Oh, because I believe this, it must be true. This assumption is, and so as we're learning to not make assumptions, we've got to understand that there are processes for us to go through. Now, we talk about bringing forth the Christ consciousness, and the Christ consciousness accepts and loves unconditionally. It is the essence of the universe that sees and knows all as already perfect and divine. There's no assumption that there's something wrong. How many were brought up or taught in management positions to look for what's wrong? Right? We are taught to, if we can say what's wrong, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to get to it before it gets to us, right? But there's another way that's about looking for what's right. Looking from the eyes of knowing the greatest gift I can give is the highest view of the situation or the person in every moment. What's the benefit of the doubt that I would want someone to give to me in that circumstance? Can I give that in that situation, in that moment, to the others around me, to the situation itself, that this is meant for good? See, if I go, okay, this that happened, my car got wings, I thought that was pretty cool, and, and what if it's meant for good? What if it's meant for good? It is meant for good because I believe that's the way the universe works. I believe in the benevolence. It doesn't matter what happens with the car. What I believe is that it's how our hearts show up and how our souls show up in the moment of every experience. And if I don't make an assumption that something's wrong, all right, there's nothing wrong. I don't have any need to suffer. Now, if I think, oh, this shouldn't have happened, there's something wrong with it, I have resistance to what is, as Byron Katie would say, if instead I start loving what is in this moment and I trust that something amazing will come out of this, great. Then all of a sudden I'm not suffering in this moment. I'm free and clear, and I can just ask questions. Okay, what is the good? Okay, what's the next action, right? One of the things that is very important to us is learning to ask questions and being curious. Because you can't be making assumptions and be curious at the same time. You know, when we become curious about, well, what's possible in this circumstance? What's possible in this situation? What's possible in this interchange or in what I'm perceiving at this moment? To recognize, number one, it's only my perception. It's not necessarily truth, it's a perception. So this particular lens sees it from here, another lens sees it from over here. We have many, many lenses. It's like 7 billion people in the world. We have that many lenses, right? And so when we recognize there's no one way to perceive. Now there is a God consciousness that is always steady and steadfast and is always bringing the sufficiency of the world to us. And yet when I let go of the need to understand and give meaning. I loved in Landmark Forum, they used to teach that we are meaning-making machines, right? That the mind, what it does, it wants to make meaning out of everything. It's another way we make assumptions. But if we let go and start going, okay, I don't know what this means. Let's ask questions. What needs to happen next? How does this work? What's going on in this circumstance? Now do this with all the places that your mind is going, right? Anybody have those minds going on? Yeah. So when we can step outside of the mind and be in the awareness of the divine presence right here and right now, and we allow it to infuse our being and we live from the embodiment of that, then all of a sudden it's natural to just ask questions because I don't know. It means we live in the unknown. And we find our security and our safety in the unknown, knowing that this is God's playground, right? The unknown is the place where we give power to that divine presence and that divine source. If I think I know, guess who's in charge? Me, not God, right? So what if instead I can say, what's the mystery? Let me dance at the edge of the mystery and allow it to reveal itself to me in ways that delight me, that give me wonder and awe at the nature of the universe. Could I open to that possibility in this moment and start asking different questions if need be? Questions that open up the field of possibility. But to become curious and ask questions is the way that we take ourselves out of that place of assumption that causes suffering for us. Because suffering is optional. I know we doubt that in the world sometimes, but we've heard it over and over in all different traditions and teachings. Suffering is optional. And so a part of the suffering comes when I make assumptions that I know, I make assumptions of how it needs to be, I resist what is. So as I let go and no longer make assumptions, then the curiosity takes me deeper into connecting with others, connecting with the divine in me, and connecting with one another to find out what's really true. You know, we've all done these things. So questions instead of creating those fantasies or creating the place where you think you know and let go of knowing. And as we move forward with this, then the next thing is that we are invited to communicate clearly. How many of you were not really given an opportunity to express your voice in terms of your own wants and needs as a child or whatever, wherever in your life? I see a lot of hands out here, and I know they're out there online too. And what we know is that there is a place in us that was taught it's selfish to have my own needs. Many of us learned to squelch those because we couldn't trust that they would ever be fulfilled, right? And so as a result, we never learned to really identify our own needs and desires, our wants, and then to communicate them clearly. Because, it might ruffle somebody's feathers or rock the boat or create a challenge. In some places, it was a serious challenge. In other places, it was just a little bit of a challenge. But what we learned is to withhold from expressing our needs, from claiming and being willing to say it's okay for me to have my needs and to communicate them clearly. Now, the big thing is that not only do we assume in our own mind, but we assume that you're supposed to read my mind, right? And know what my needs are. Anybody done that in their relationships or in their friendships, in their in all kinds of ways? And what is required is to speak clearly and truly, and that requires us coming to our Christ self. Right? Because why is it we don't speak our needs or our wants? Because we don't feel secure in ourselves. We don't feel worthy of having our needs met. And maybe we were taught that we aren't. But what we're learning here at Unity, here in these principles that we're aligning with, in these 4 agreements, is that when we get out of the way, the Christ in us has its way in us. And that divine light and oneness that we are is always wanting to fulfill the highest good. When I was in oneness in India, one of the things that Sri Amma Bhagawan said to us was, whatever it is you desire, go fulfill that. Go fulfill that, because out of that you come into the realization of yourself and you get set free from having that be in the way of your relationship with your divine. So don't ever deny fulfilling what your needs are, but communicate them clearly. And this is how we don't make assumptions. And we don't set somebody else up to try and have guesswork about where we are or what we need. One of the challenges I felt for myself through the years was realizing that because it wasn't okay to have my own feelings, I was a highly feeling person. I felt everything through my emotional body. And as a result, it was kind of like I learned to shut that down, and I didn't even know what I was feeling. There's a great book I recommend called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And it invites you into naming and claiming and understanding your own feelings in that moment, which helps you then communicate more clearly what it is that you're needing to express and to ask and to clearly say. Now, that doesn't mean we don't negotiate with one another in the process, right? But no one's having to make assumptions, and we're not making assumptions that you know what it is that I want. There's that husband that came home and his wife is like, okay, are we ready? And he's like, what? What are we ready for? And he's like, well, today's the day. And he's like, what day? And she's all dressed to the nines, and he's looking and he's going, uh-oh, I think I missed something. And she's just like, and so now she's looking at him and she's fuming and she's starting to assume he did not remember our 10th anniversary. And she is furious. And then all of a sudden he takes her hand and he takes her around the corner, and all these people pop out and say, surprise, right? Now, in the meantime, she's gone through a whole story, right? So we make these assumptions, but she actually, her needs had been expressed, and he did hear them, and he knew it was a good thing to do, is to do something special for his wife's, their anniversary. But whatever way we go about this, it's about us claiming that we know when we ask questions and then we communicate and we ask for communication back, we change the agreements that we're working with. We begin to say, I'm not going to agree that the world tells me this is the way I should think, or this is the way I was brought up to believe. What if all of that can be dropped away and we have the purity and the innocence of who we are as this light, as this divine expression, as the innocence of the Christ within? That innocence is always willing to hear and see and experience what's available to me in this now moment. And from that, then, we have a whole new agreement with what we experience. Life becomes a celebration, experiencing whatever's next and whatever's next. So it's important that we become ourselves. That no matter what we do, you become who you are. It's not that you aren't that, but most of us have covered it over with other ideas. And so as we learn to take these agreements, and we start out being impeccable with our word, being, as Don Miguel Ruiz says, without sin, and we would say without error consciousness. I'm not putting my error beliefs and my error thoughts into my words and into my actions. Then I learn to not take things personally. All right, this isn't even about me. It's just a circumstance and a situation that's occurring. So it doesn't mean something. So then all of a sudden I can call in the divine energy and not make an assumption about what's occurring, but this is always an opportunity for more of the divine oneness and the godness to be expressed. The only thing that's happening here is an opportunity for more of that to reveal itself. Wow, how powerful is that? That's the only thing that's happening. It's not personal at all. And if I can see that and start to experience that, then I become that place of peace. I become the light in the world. I'm the one that's holding the harmony for all of creation to have its highest expression, including me. So I invite you to take a look at these four assumptions. I said that online this week in my video. If anybody watched it, I actually said the four assumptions. No, we want the four agreements, not the four assumptions. You know, what are the four assumptions that we want to let go? The idea that the world is not safe, that I'm separate, right? That from others, that somehow that I need to make it happen, all right? That it's up to me, you know, and what would be the fourth assumption? Anybody? I'm not worthy. Somebody just said that one? Yeah, that I'm not worthy. So if we let go of those four assumptions, all right, I like that, is that we can come instead to the four agreements and live according to agreement to our highest expression. And my desire is for each one of us to experience that. Now, next week, I want to say to you that we have our wonderful Thanksgiving gratitude feast. Many of you have signed up. We've already got, I think, 2 turkeys and a ham, and we've got lots of veggies, but we'd love to have your input on what you would like to bring, and there's a sign-up sheet over here. We'll have some tables outside for those that feel more comfortable in that environment, but we're going to come and give thanks together in a way that unites us as a community and feeling our oneness and our wholeness, and we're going to celebrate with food, which we always love, right? We've got some great things happening here, and we're grateful for that, so I hope you'll sign up and come and do that. And we'll also next week be celebrating the last of the 4 agreements. And we'll be sharing on what it means to, let's see what I'm going to say, always do your best. So we know that's a powerful place. And thank you, Don Pence, for helping out there this morning and taking care of our beloved one out there. So we put her in prayer, absolutely. So we're holding the light for each and every one of us to let go of the old agreements and come to consciously engage agreements that work with the new world, with the new energies, with the new dimension that we're traveling through. Whether you know it or not, it's already happened, and now we're just catching up. So put on your light suits and let's go. God bless you, friends. Have a great week. I think the universe helps me out when I have circumstances that happen in my life that are coming up. It first gets rid of the mind, so then I can just be with everything. So thank you, universe, for doing that. And now, before we go into our offering, we have been doing a pledge drive, and I want to say thank you to so many of you who turned in pledge cards, and Reverend Curdy adds her thanks for that as well. And we've had a wonderful drive. We've had, about 45 to 50 people. I've still got some cards coming in that have made commitments to live the unity principles first and foremost, and then to give of their substance and their gifts to this ministry. As we had not our annual, but we had a special membership meeting last night. We've made the decision to extend our mortgage, but we're still committed to hopefully paying off that mortgage. This morning I was told of a $3,000 gift going down to pay down the mortgage. I am so grateful for all the ways the gifts come in and the abundance, and part of it is our aligning to know the truth and to live those truth principles. And so Jackie Lawson is going to come up and share a little testimony with us about her experience of what it means to take on the principles of tithing and giving of her good. So Jackie, thank you for being with us. So many of you know that Jackie's bookkeeping service does all of our numbers, and though we pay her a tiny bit, she does a huge amount of work. So we are so grateful for her and her past role as treasurer, and grateful for all the ways that you show up and share your love of this ministry. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. I don't create the numbers. I just simply put them in and bless them as they go. So there you go.
Good point.
I was talking to Reverend Kyra last week about just the enormous appreciation I have for this church. I walked in here 13 years ago in the midst of a crisis and losing everything, and I had lost my job, and I was losing the house, and all those things that go with it. And I asked, a lot of you will remember him, Roy Lawson, to pray with me. And he did pray with me, and he paid for a prosperity class that I took, that just sent me, and I started tithing. I started always giving of myself and my time and treasures and all of those things. And I started a business 11 years ago that just has been amazing. This year I'm taking it to a new level. Everything. My life has just been this enormous doors opening, and it's all because of the tithing and being in alignment with who I am. And when you're in alignment with who you are, the doors open naturally, and you just walk through them. And it's really been an amazing journey. And I wake up every day going, wow, I get to do it again. I get to do it again. And I've just always pledged to take care of this church. I've always, time, talent, treasure. I've done a lot of things a lot of you don't know about in the past, and that's fine, because it's just brought us to where we are. One of the greatest people I met was Paul Hoggett. And if you ever get an opportunity to talk to Paul, it's pretty amazing. So there's a lot of amazing people here. Reverend Kyra is one of them. And I just, I so thank you all for everything, because my journey has just begun. It's just begun. Thank you.
We're so grateful for you, Jackie. Thank you. And thank you for sharing, because we know this place has much meaning to many of us through the years. And we're grateful to each one that has made this place possible and continues to flourish our ministry. So let's share together our offering blessings. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. And we're going to turn it back over to our fabulous music team today, Keith Vivens and Patty Rabaza. Woohoo!
1, 2, and you know what to do.
Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all had. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate and look for the good in everyone and celebrate our love most days. There's a silver lining.
A silver lining.
You still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. I see you searching for a purpose, guided by a dream. I see who you are. I'm just like you. I get lost sometimes and I forget what I came here to do. So we keep on trying.
Keep on trying.
When it gets frightening, look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone is nature. Everyone is God. Everyone is love and light and vibration. Look for the good. Look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should. Look for the good. Look for the good. Yeah, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Life would sure be sweeter if everybody would. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
Thank you, Patty Rabaza and Keith Vivens. That's a great Jason Mraz song. Love that one. It's one of my favorites. And we are being called to look for the good, aren't we? So let's begin by giving thanks, and we'll give thanks for these gifts if you all want to bring those forward. And then we'll say thank you to everybody who's giving all the ways they are, those that are mailing in checks and giving online or texting to give. We are grateful for all the ways that the generosity of this universe supports us. So let's share our blessings together. We celebrate divine abundance. We gratefully live, breathe, and experience abundance and generosity. Thank you, God, for the flow of resources through our ministry to bless the world. We rejoice as all our prayers are answered. We are grateful, blessed, and prosperous. Yes, we are. God bless you, friends. And so let's rise and share our closing song.
We are singing in the light of God. 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 We are singing, oh, we are singing in the light of God. We are singing, oh, we are singing in the light of God. Go Keith. We are dancing in the light of God. 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 We are dancing, oh, we are dancing in the light of God. We are dancing, oh, we are dancing in the light of God. We are living 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 in the light of God. We are living, oh, we are living in the light of God. We are living, oh, we are living in the light of God.
Woo! Let's join for our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. God bless you, friends. Have a fabulous week.